Issue 1, the campaign for Public Utilities Regulatory Authority, PURA, to suspend its data price floor of $50 per 1 gigabyte. The government formation of a presidential committee, and last but not least, number 3, the detention and charges against all 44 peaceful protesters to be dropped. Today, you will hear a united voice from 3 movements: Team Kumsabova, Edward Francis Small for Rights and Justice, EFSCRJ, and Gambians Against Looted Assets, GALA, and together we form the coalition. Fellow Gambians, if ever there was a time for us to come together, that time is now. By standing side by side, our organizations are demonstrating unity for a better Gambia. We want to sincerely thank every single person who has shown solidarity with our comrades who were detained and incarcerated simply for being the voice of the voiceless. Even in Mile 2, our advocates have proven that they cannot and will not be silenced. Today, you will hear from the Gambians who have resisted and continue to persevere, no matter what obstacles this government puts in their path. We remain ready to dialogue with the government, but let it be clear, such dialogue must be grounded in principles, and it can only happen after all charges against our comrades have been dropped. I am Ali Cham once again, thank you. That's the opening remarks, and I will also break down how we plan to go ahead with this program. I've done the welcoming statement. We will have Comrade Saibo Kamara from the Gala. He will do the speech on the price floor petition. After that, we will have a response to the government committee, which will be done by the spokesperson of Team Kumsabova, Yusuf Taylor. And then after that, we will have the statements in Mandinka by our brother Keksane, who is sitting right here with us. Dropping the charges? Awesome. Okay. So we'll also have the dropping of charges, which will be done by our sister Fatuma from the Edward Francis Teaching Smalls for Rights and Justice. And then after that, we will have this in Mandinka by our brother Keksane, and then in Wolof by me. And then after that, immediately after the local languages, we will have a question and answer session for our wonderful journalists and also those that are in attendance. Also, last but not least, we will have the closing remarks by me, myself, and I. So the press conference has officially started. I will pass the microphone to our comrade, our brother in the struggle, Saibo Kamara from Ghana, to speak on the price floor petition. Saibo, the mic is yours.
All right, thank you very much, comrade and brother. Good afternoon to the media house and those watching. My name is Omar Saibo Kamara, and I am the spokesperson of Gambians Against Looted Assets. And my role here is to read the concern of the Gambians petition to PURA to suspend anti-competitive data price floor. And the statement reads: on 22nd of August 2025, Gambians gathered at the parking slot of Public Utilities Regulatory Authority, PURA, to peacefully demand the suspension of the newly imposed price floor. The plan was simple: read out our petition and collect as many signatories as possible. But that never happened. Security officers led by PIU Commander Lamin Sarr stormed the protest, arrested demonstrators with brutal force. For up to 6 long days, 44 peaceful citizens were detained in various police stations and at the notorious Mile 2 Central Prison. Now the petition that they were denied the chance to present are available online, where over 1,000 people have signed. For years, Gambians have endorsed some of the highest internet costs in the sub-region with little meaningful regulations from PURA. Just as consumers and customers finally began benefiting from competition through cheap internet packages, PURA has chosen to act against public interest and in favor of GSM companies. In response, Team Gomsaboba, Edward Francis Small Center for Rights and Justice, and Gambians Against Looted Assets, together the coalition, are protesting PURA's unprecedented decision to impose anti-competitive price floor of $50 per gigabyte. The price floor have been deliberately ended. The traffic war that shows GSM operators offering promotional data bundles for as low as 13.33 per gigabyte. By forcing the hike, PURA has increased the cost of data by up to 275%, placing a burden on Gambian consumers. The coalition reminds PURA that under Section 13 of the PURA Act, its primary duty is to protect the interests of consumers and customers and public utilities, and monitor and enforce standards of performance by public utilities. Instead, PURA's decisions prioritizing GSM operators or companies at the expense of consumers undermine affordability without guaranteeing improvement in quality. We strongly believe that this price floor will only make internet access more expensive without delivering better services. Therefore, we welcome the timely intervention of the Gambia Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, which has condemned PURA's anti-competitive decisions and called for the immediate suspension. They emphasize that the recent tariff war provides more needed relief, driving data prices to the lowest level ever and making them more affordable for vulnerable consumers and small businesses. Our demands. The coalition will submit this petition formally immediately after this press conference to suspend the price floor and hail to a joint demand of both the coalition and the GCCPC. PURA claims its decision is guided by a regulatory benchmark, citing that African average of 1 gigabyte is $1, equivalent to $71, and promised to publish the cost model underpinning this policy. Today, either the benchmark details nor the cost model have been made public. We demand that PURA immediately publish these documents on its official platform to allow the public to independently verify whether this decision truly serves the public interest and reflect transparency, accountability as claimed, why the price floor is harmful. Our coalition is of the informed view that the disadvantages of PURA's policy are severe. One, digital exclusion. Low-income Gambians, especially students, women, and rural community, risk of being pushed offline, deeply in the digital divide. Educational setback. Students who rely on affordable data for research, learning, and communications will lose access to vital educational resources, youth unemployment, and innovative barriers. Young Gambians working in freelancing, tech, and creative industries will be locked out of global opportunities, shifting innovation and job creation, civil engagement, and governance. Citizens' ability to access news, monitor government activities, and participate in civil life online will be severely undermined. A regulator's duty. If PURA truly intend to protect the public interest, it would have been pursued a price ceiling to cap cost whilst demanding improvement services quality for ESM operators and companies. Instead, it has chosen a regressive path that, as the GCCPC note, that punishes consumers instead of addressing structural and investment issues within the sector. Consumers' protection must be rooted in fairness, equity, and justice. The real test for regulation is how well it safeguards the most vulnerable, not how comfortably it serves the interests of the few powerful companies. Signed by Team Gomsaboba, Edward Francis Small Center for Rights and Justice, and Gambians Against Looted Assets. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Sego Kamara, for that awesome deliberation on the price floor and also dwelling into the impacts that it has on the ordinary Gambian people from all walks of life. With all due honor, I would like to pass the microphone to the spokesperson of the Gomsaboba, who's going to give a response to the welcome such committees, but we do hope that the committee, if active, responds and reacts, in the government responds to the recommendations of the committee if it is in the interest of the Gambian people. Thank you, Yusuf, for my discussion with that one.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. Greeting you all again. Once again, I'm Yusuf Taylor, the spokesperson of Team Gomsa Baba. We together are a coalition. We all speak together. All the statements we are issuing are together today. So, members of the media, I heard some of the, mumblings in the back. We, the undersigned organizations, Team Gomsa Baba, the Edward Francis Small Center for Rights and Justice, and Gambians Against Looted Assets, together, the coalition, take note of the press release dated 26 August 2025 from the Office of the President, titled, President Bago establishes high-level committee to safeguard competition and consumer welfare in the telecoms market. This announcement followed the arrest and detention of over 44 peaceful protesters who demonstrated against the Public Utilities Regulatory Authority's decision to impose a price floor of $50 per 1 gigabyte of data. The decision, announced on 20th August 2025, came into effect just 2 days later, on 22nd August 2024, highlighting very little or no public engagement. According to the statement, the government has established a high-level committee to review those regulations in the telecommunications sector. While we, the coalition, we acknowledge the formation of this committee and its listed representatives, we strongly note the absence of any clear timeline for its work. The press release further states that the Gambia government acknowledges and recognizes the public's concerns and assures all Gambians that their interests, welfare, and rights regarding fair and affordable services will continuously be safeguarded. We wish to remind the government that this is not the first time such bodies have been created. Numerous independent commissions, committees, and panels have been formed in the past to address public concerns, yet many of their recommendations remain unimplemented. A responsible and responsive government should conduct thorough studies and consult widely, especially with you, the public, before introducing a regulation with such far-reaching consequences. In its statement, PURA referred to a regional benchmark claiming that the African average is $1 per gigabyte. That is equivalent to $71 per gigabyte. PURA's floor of $50 per gigabyte is about 70% of that benchmark, reflecting local realities while ensuring operators can cover costs and reinvest. This is what PURA is saying. We are saying, if this benchmark truly exists, let PURA publish it immediately. Similarly, PURA claimed that it would introduce safeguards to ensure fairness through the publication of the cost model underpinning the price floor. Again, if these studies and models are not yet complete, how can PURA justify rushing such a decision? If they are complete, then PURA should publish the cost model immediately. It is our considered view that the price floor should never have been introduced without these studies and without proper public consultation. We therefore reiterate the position of the GCCPC, Gambia Consumer Competition Commission, itself established by this same government, by our government, that regulatory intervention risks undermining consumer welfare. The GCCPC, as already stated by my colleague, has rightly warned that the introduction of price regulation will prevent consumers from benefiting from unfettered competition, where business compete on price, quality, and service innovation to the benefit of consumers. Since the introduction of the price floor on 22nd August 2025, affordable promotional data bundles have disappeared. This is the first thing that the price floor eliminated. The cheapest available plan is now $50 per 1 gigabyte, up from before, when we assessed this, $13 per 1 gigabyte before. This is a staggering 275% increase. This hike has already caused serious and lasting hardship for Gambians in just a matter of weeks. This decision is entirely for the benefit of the GSM operators rather than consumers, which raises questions about the professionalism of the institution and the legality of their decision. Since the price floor has come into effect, quality has remained the same or even maybe worse. For these reasons, we also wish to raise the issue of efficiency of PURA. One of the functions of the authority as per the PURA Act is to ensure quality service delivery in the telecoms industry. It's a fact that mobile and internet affordability, availability, accessibility, and quality across the country leave much to be desired. Therefore, we urge that the terms of reference of the Presidential Committee look into the professionalism and efficiency of PURA, as well as the legality of PURA's data price floor. We wish to note with deep concern that the work of commissions, committees, and independent bodies consumes a significant amount of public resources. Their recommendations should not be treated lightly, nor should taxpayers' money be wasted on another committee whose findings may be disregarded by the executive. We also have demands in response to the government's committee, presidential committee. Our demands: in light of the above, the coalition is calling on the government to end the public suffering. We are suffering. NAWEC is already killing us by suspending the price floor immediately. And, can we please the noise? Suspending the price floor immediately and considering the introduction of a price ceiling during the committee's deliberations to protect consumers. As I said, Gambians are suffering. This price floor is really a big burden on us. So this is signed by us, Team Gomsababa, Edward Francis Small Center for Rights and Justice, Gambians Against Looted Assets, and with that I conclude. Thank you very much.
For breaking down the elements regarding, the response to the government committee. And without wasting much time, I will hand over the microphone to Fatu S. Liu, who's representing Edward Francis Teaching Small Center for Rights and Justice. And also, what she will be doing is she will be elaborating on our demand to drop all charges. As all of our colleagues and comrades said, it is non-negotiable for us to get into any dialogue before all of the charges are dropped. For your information, there has been a total of 44 people, mostly young people, including women, who have been arrested. Some of them went to the jail, some of them also sent to man too, and some are actually going to police bail and reporting every week as we speak. So, Fatu S. Liu, the microphone is yours, my sister.
And here it goes. On 22nd August 2025, the Edward Francis Small Center for Rights and Justice, Team Gomsababa and Gambians Against Looted Assets carried out a peaceful protest at the car park of the Gambia Public mutualistic regulatory authority, that is PURA, against its decision to enforce a minimum traffic of $50 per gigabyte for mobile data. This decision has increased internet costs by up to 275% and limited digital access for many Gambians, particularly students and small businesses. The protest began peacefully, but turned out chaotic and royal police interrupted and forcefully dispersed the gathering and illegally arrested 19 individuals. The following day, that was 23rd August, 4 more individuals were arrested at Wall Street as they came out to show solidarity with the detainees. Subsequently, appearing before Magistrate Ture on August 25th, all 23 were charged under Section 5, Subsection 5 of the Public Order Act for control of possession and pleaded not guilty. On the same day, an additional 21 youths were arrested while protesting the unlawful decision by Magistrate Ture to send the youths to State Central Prison in Maipur. It's important to note that the accused were not arranged in court within 72 hours as stipulated by Section 19 of the Gambian 1997 Constitution. In addition to this, the action by the youth was prompted by decision to remand some 23 youths in Maipur for bailable offenses, which can only be described as misconduct at worst. We strongly believe this punishment contradicts the intents of common law, which presume every accused person is innocent before being proven guilty. Reminding 23 youths in Maipur for over 3 days when they have never been convicted for any crime hints that their right to liberty was infringed, something we consider a serious lapse in the state's duty of care. The coalition detains the fact that all 42 youths remain under charges of unlawful possession, unlawful assemble and idle loitering before the police, and the court thereby making them political prisoners. Together with our allies, we condemn these arrests and charges as violation of the constitutional right to peaceful assembly, and petition the executive as protected under the 1997 Constitution and international human rights laws. The coalition finds it deeply concerning and unacceptable that citizens calling for accountability are met with repression and criminalization, while public officials implicated in audit reports, parliamentary findings, and regulatory failures continue to operate with impunity. This selective application of the law undermines democracy, justice, and public trust in state institutions. We recall that similar gatherings and political assemblies have been allowed to proceed without permit or interference, highlighting a troubling double standard in the enforcement of the law. Such inconsistency and bias threaten national unity, peace, and security. In the view of the foregoing, we therefore demand the following. 1. Immediate and unconditional dropping of all charges against the 44 youths. Respect for the right to peaceful assembly, protest as enshrined in the Constitution and regional and international human rights treaties, which are ratified by the Gambia. An independent review of Pura's operational and accountability to the Gambian people. 4. Equal and fair application of the law to all, including public officials implicated in corruption or misconduct. The arrest and prosecution of 44 young Gambians protesting against Pura data flow price represent more than just a crackdown on a single demonstration. These actions pose a serious danger to the Gambian democracy, civil space, and accountability system. We wish to allow citizens to be vigilant, bearing in mind that if the government continues to suppress civil voices, then the civil space will collapse. Democratic backsliding will accelerate, and corruption and insufficiency will become entrenched in our country. To prevent this, the coalition reminds all citizens and the government in particular of its obligation under the Constitution and international human rights instruments, including the African Charter on Human and People's Rights, to protect citizens' rights and not to suppress them. The arrest and the prosecution of these youths were unjust, unlawful, and undemocratic. The Gambia cannot claim to be a democracy while silencing the voice of dissent and protecting those who abuse power. We stand in solidarity with the 44 youths and all Gambians who peacefully demand accountability and good governance. We demand transparency and accountability now. Signed, Team Kumsabo, Edward Francois Center for Right and Justice. Gambians against looted assets. Thank you.
Dropping the charges against all 44 people who have been detained and arrested. Without wasting much more time, I will pass the mic to none other than Keksane, representing Gala, and he will basically break down everything that has been said and summarize it for our local listeners in Mandinka.
Brother Francis, small Center, Right and Justice, and Team Consaboba. I'm not sure that I will need to go petition statement following the Yamba will Pura Symphania Yata, program of data price on me, flow member Kirino, DSM company, so the new Sabano, price on Gida, Katina Gamenol, Munafano, Ela Stepome Yata, Tala, Mediamlo, Mediamla Foding Tanani in Nanola. Mira lo lefana da kasoto pour charge so na secure wala be bolo be diam la president o commission me ala ba establish pour gagner dire la pour jinde be diam la pour la sa dali bureau la decision quand on go joint press conference ni karo men atir mo wandi fula gambia no ka fula nyoba me ala ko ka fula nyoba bureau la be no me ala ko le karaba be ni silo pour ka protest wala ka demand man sakunda ya yes impairment approval a double plus for me and location company so the water funding goal fitted and the moment wala ni ko kira petition on ka read kaya dali tel da ko dala ina mila petition wala ina mila ka sign fana wala mala mo hamoti je ka be fula je police wala me and security apparatus wala fitted de kay ko de kam me and ko commission sa atele kara mo me and ko atele de nyaabo ko ya se de kam ye arrest ye sembo fana ka ya boy kam ke force ko arrest yalan ko dole para moso dia dara fotiri woro mo tan nani ni nani yalan ko mo fonni ko le ye soro police station jamal ko banko ban dol dara fo my two central prison yalan ko ka fa notorious my two prison o bodaje fonni ko me ko defal fitida me dalon ko ya tande ko mo mo le me ko di ko ya ni na ko la ko fanal fitida silo kan o na raga ko me yalan ko ma sakunda la police na la sifata de me yalan ko mandia wa kayanda ne ko gamenol kabrin saji komando e be badaka internet la ko ni na raji be ni afrika tundo ma wala so afrika de gambela kere dula de mi ko internet do serta je baake ndel du ngaje ko ni foni gol me fi de yo ko mo fenne de mi ko kon sanne wa pire na da bla je me solda mo le be ñoo compete kam ko me na ke da bla ko no gra ko mi ala ko foni gol man na dia wa ka internet na mi ala ko mo be se mo na fa no ala me ka ko mi ko ci internet package o gara men ni pire na da wala ko nya ko ka GSM company so fego in the interest of the Gambian people. Team Gomsakoba or Karate World Francis Center for Right and Justice and Income Loot against looted assets. In coalition model, in Ataka Model Milanco, if we did a protest against federal decision on the program, a company sold that they favor price on an American Kando, the goal and mega by killing. Well, I am go Pira and Symphony, Menta and Program in Kuono, a GSM promotion in the Menka, data wafi dalasi tan anin sabala $13.3 kulos kurutan sabanin saba gigabyte killing ko mo fenne de meala ko kamen pire ada bole de tara in sele de fada da ko mo so da 75% wala kame fulanta woro wala ni lulu percentage do ni na raji be wala toro la da be ngol gam ka ko me go go ni no mera go de to su ani kwale so meala ko le gambe ni modi wala pira kilo bla ni na ka ndani ko ban ko la kitabu wala kila la kitabu ko mo ka ko me section 13 of the Bureau's Act I duty wala the responsibility moment wala ko de la simpa nya daga menta wala ni ko ban ko dingol wala consumer ani public interest de la do ko mo ko ka ka fe me ala ko e ba promote la fana e ba monitor la ka ni ko standard wala ni ko internet ken do so approve ban ko dingol me la ko wala consumer bari ya enda ko pira la ni decision ni me ala ko ya ta ko ga GSM company fasa Gambian dingol wala mo nya ko me la ko lo le ko de program internet do so do kala fene de me ala ko abe quality jindila le me ala ko kana na internet wala so nya and telefona ka fo na believe ka nyina ka tani ko no price flow ni wala ni ko internet ro la fuli le no saba saje ba jindila nya me wala kala ko de me ala ko abe fanko ni me mo ka me duli internet ro ko wala ka mo na flo ni abe jila mo be pare bana service ro me ala ko ba na ta be kala fene me ala ko abe kala fene service o kamala ndel ka fo me ala ko be jang ka tani ro ko man sakunda la place do be ka ko men GCCPC wala Gambia Competition and Consumer Protection wala simfanya menta pour la pure la simfanya mo ka bay o kada felle de mi ala ko del contanta ko kira ko mo bay ka yanda dila ko be menke kam anen sila manta o kada felle mi ala ko del contanta ko ni ka yanda dila wala felle mi ala ko simfa pour yanda ko wala ka bay ki yanda pour ka banko ngol ndake la hako kila nyanto ni ko wala interest in sa ya yanda ni ko mo felle de mi ala ko asi business ni wala ma ko no ni mi ala ko lo me ko den andal vanara nyinin karo wala men ka ko demand wala ko me nyinin ka man sakunda ko wala nyindi ko wala sono na petition ni ba forma de ngora ni press conference ka jamba ngala masamba pure la kunda da do ka ngora ango le do ami ala ngo ambassador na GCCP aka samba de na ya dale fana be ni karo ni la pure ko ka dale la ko la decision menta amanke fete mi ala ngo ay ko ya atundu de men ka wala regional bank ma ko ni africa bank ko mi ala ngo wala silo ni men ke de wala ta bantel ya tan ko ka nan ko africa ko wala kili moni wala ka kanya gigabyte so ni ro fale ka be dala so be dala ko ta wala wala ni kili ka nan dila ko mo fene de mi ala ka so wala ne daga fene de mi ala ka daga police de mi ala ko abe lorin a tuntun kay wala ka barka nan dila ko ka ho bila ko hani sai wo dida bank ma ko ya man ke fene mi ala ko findi dala wala ka me no sa ni ala ko straight to reporting approach na me no sa di ma lo ra ni ke ko ka nan dila ko pira ke kuma ni science and kayan tandila ko ye men ko ko le ke ya kai do fiti ni Gambia be me am ga official website ko ka kije sa ya Gambia no sa je no sa independently verified no len ka kisi ka lo ko len to na ko len to na ko be kala fenti me am ko ni coalition member so ba ni ka kayan tande fana ko ni price flow ni ay toro men la Gambia ni ngol ka ko fana mu da kayan tande mo la ko ni coalition no ya kala mu da ko wala ya la ko bira la ni decision ni ay toro la Gambia ni ngol ka men kam muda ko ina da digital explosion wala ka anda dira ko mo me ana ko lo me ko me wala mo ne an ko na flo le ko be kan be no particular men kam da ko karam to ni wala musol wala mo me ana ko be rural community solo ani rural simpanya batina la be findi la internet lo ko no ngala ko sa dunia be tama ka internet wala ani ni wala membe so mo be la ka internet lo ka anda dira wala karam la ko ndani na me ana ko educational setback abe karamugo dinol fana nena ko ka tuntu internet wala ka progela yini ndiro le ka ko me research aka karam fana ka ni ko ka diamo amela ko internet wala di simpamenta be ko le dina ko data sanno même fana ka mo da funding ki wala do so wala on employment and innovation barrier ka anda dila funding ki wala mo da fa internet wala mera ko ka use ka TikTok so that they create content and wala thing so ani na da internet wala sele di ba ka ko la mera ka do dila do ko wala ani freelance journalist so mera ko ka do ka anda dila ko full simpani ay to wala la Gambia no civil engagement and governance ka anda dila ko banko di ngol mela la ko ke muna fa internet wala ani mela la ko government la kibaro kisi internet wala abe ko la sa ko ka so ko si wol bay la internet wala na sir ba o kera fende bi ala ko ka anda ka ni to wala la mo ka anda ko pura fa la do ko mo da regulators loi ni sembo le wala la juti mo men wala ni ko pura ni daga mo mi ala ko ela hama ko le kala fa fende ko pura ba ko di ngol ala interest ko tambe de nyaado fa fe nyaado bare na raja ko de kala mo le mi ala ko ni price so le na ka fa price ceiling abe fende kala mi ala ko abe toro le la Gambia di ngol kam mi ala ko quality ni mi ala ko le GSM company le ko abe na kala fende ba mo ni la ko ka na le na ko mo le la mi ala ko abe kala fende mi ala ko abe toro la mo ko kamala ka ya tandila ko GCCP wole mi ala ko ka ya tandila ko bureau la ko ma ke fa ila in simplement o kamo dala ko de consumer so instead of reporting la concern address wala consumer so de ka be tora ka tandila ko insika simpa de mi ala ko ba kala ko di mola janto anila interest ko e nyato ka anda de na consumer protection ko nyata ka fene mi ala ko be la ko ke mo na fa internet ko ayla protection on nyata ka fene mi ala ka be dunna to mo men ka ko fairness wala ni ko tiling consumer ni GSM company de equity ka anda de na ka fene mi ala ko de ko men ka be tiling na ni silo la ni la no le da jolo e ke mo de na mi ala ko be tiling na ter tema ka anda de la ni ka de fa mi ala ko lo de la lo ko ka anda de na internet lo ke fene mi ala ko asike mbol na fa ay ka men wala interest sa para kana ke mo dan wala company dan interest mi ala fa ba sai ala ko le sa yin kibaro ni kafusa bole aside ne kam the team comes over and was Francis Center for Rights and Justice and in government against looted assets. Kanya wani me alam ko wala masakunda ya yanda ndiko aitelie commission wala lo wala safo no high level commission me alam ko wala in telecommunication wala ka do ko men kanyam banko banjam president wala office ko en baro findindi me alam ko ya sign ka yanda ndiko je lafta ka wala lo so ki baro fana de lafto lo la mo men de ni kafu sabol ambo fana fola de madega kan do ka yanda ndila ko de kafu sabol de alam ko ngamen to ko ja Edward Francis kada ko tin kon saboba anen gala kaya nandira ko ngakala mutale masakunda kibaro men findinde ani karo me arango tambidala mo timu ani goro member na office of the president na me arango ay taji also the government president baro establish a high level committee to safeguard the competition and consumers welfare in the telecommunication market kaya nandira ko na telephone bundal me arango le mata na diamond na fuga ni mongola kaya nandira ko masakunda isimfa taje me arango fuga commissioner lo me arango abinda ko kisikisi ngayanda ndiko kado kibaro findi dano wo kula da men non wala fondi ki wala me an fondi ki kannani me da ko findi dano wo be ko ki wala fo kan kayanda ndila ko in telecommunication institution do mol tapale yakane ani ila internet do na men fendi me an ba seta wo wado ko la ngi ko kado wala jere ni commission mi da kalo kayanda ndila ko price ko le do na me an ko kalo le ko le do la megabyte gigabyte so kayanda ndila ko kabini decision o gada karol til mo Wanada Wagola, Tilifula, on the 22nd of August, when in August 2004. Il a statement in the Masakunda, a commission of a high level committee to review the regulations and the communication sector. Kandandila was commission of Merampo, Nadiamo, Nafuranyomo, OGB, Kisikisi, Pinemi, and the Kuala Kalamuta, or the Kafo, acknowledged Kandandila Masakunda in committee lore. And we are identifying this way that the men are on the committee made out of the second focus. But the Nalaman Cross, the one in the boat, I the Lanyan committee on Hansai, my hand and one of go. Yilla don't go in, you go to the Kala, the Montro, Carrioleta, curriculum number, follow number, for San Juan, for it will be forever. There's no time frame. I'm going to Sakunda, what I ended in the kind of Nina go, and you go let o kamara na enda ko nyanda ka fele de mera ngaya ka ko ga be di wono because commission of jamaat de la nyumba ko ga ni la do go ba fe di so la fe kera time frame mo ka enda de la ko press release so ni fana continue da ka enda di ko masa kunda ya kala mo dal wala bansa banko di molla kumbo ni ya kala mo dal ka enda di la ko ga be no fele de mera ko la hama ko wala la welfare de ani la raji ko be kala fele de mera ko to kunda be do la wala ka do continue la ko wala muda ka sansa ka fo me to mani gol ka fasil ga barantale masa unda ya tandila wala government ke hakilo wala ni ka ya tandila ko ni manke wadi follow wala na masa unda be body sol wala me da ko ga commission do ga dal jide commission jamaat de do la jam panel jamaat de do la jam na ko man don pour ga masa unda la do ko wala do ko la ke jibe be ko men ke ka men ko ko mon de ko recommendation wala finti tan jabaro recommendation an sai mo felle de mera ran ko masa unda ma simpa taji apro ko recommendation of implement aw kamara bay kilo blandi la wala ko ela responsibility wala ni de ko de la hamako e masa unda nya daga mo de mera ko e be banko dingol la ko mo dan ko la wato wadi de be ko ko gele nya daga fan conduct electoral study and consultation wala ni de ko kisi ga long a jane be simpa nya ta la je akaya ndila fana ko jane ni introduction o be ke kan ni regulation o ni ya ndila ko ay fenne la faga meno la ko ya ka maje ka ndali fana la statement o nyun kono fana ya ndali ko vira ni rifa ka ndali ko vira ni na ko regional bank ba wala ni ko gambela ni settlement de tanyola wala bank mark le so wala ni ko ay price la lon de mi ko africa be ka kama wala ko wala ni regional be ka kama wala ko apira wala ko ka ndali ko africa gambeno ni $1 ni e ko la so ko gigabyte ni o fale ngabe krena tangoro wala ni kili ka ndandi ko wala fa mi ala ko ka ke ni na da jangambe ba jara ko jesem company so wala ba di ke la ko tal du mi ala ko mo 70% ni benchmark ko ka ndandi ko ni benchmark ni ite le men ko de ama reflect de la so ko ka ni na da gambe ni mo la so ko di ani sector ni ko ka fe de mi ala ko ni gambe no la ko man tamo so ka ndandi la ko pour ka pira ko man ka ndandi la do ko moment wala ni ko kira ni decision ni ka reviews wala ka nyanda la ko ni men ko wala mo de la kuma ka publish on their website sa de gameno security ro ke no ka jibi Kabono or Pura Ninafo, and they will safeguard and ensure a fairness through the publication of the cost model underpin the price flow. And then more than the middle ya fo mo le non ko be ni kala bar an sai e la ni kibaro ma findi na website do mo sa keno ka lon ko ni na mo fe mo ni ala ko ke fran sida ma na kisi kisi ro de ka lon ka ya nan dila fana ko ni price flow ni mi ala ko ya nan nan jam ay man kisi kisi ki de ko man sa ko ngaja daga fe ne mi ala ko ni be simfa kala fo fen ni anda ka study la ki to understand both the interest of the public and what impact abe men na no banko ga bara kamunda ko itel man kisi kisi ki de ni mo man ka ja be an ko public consultation or pour ka ke ni mo si ka ja o kamala ndel mo be an ko binyan ka ndel ko kuma ka me an ko gambe consumer and competitive production ni commission ni kuma ka me fo antel bida wala ka ndel ko government si ke fende me an ko de be kuta sa jibe risk analysis no jibe dia be toro be la banko ni mo ka ndel o nyanda ka fende me an ko nyanda ka skuli nyanda ka mentamo o wala je fana ka ndel ko ni introduction me an ko ya na on the 22nd of August amo fende affordable promotion me an ko data GSM company le dia nanna o kala fele de me arango ay credit sonia mo bay Gambia banko kan jana kabide de simba do de because wado no ga credit go sam no gasita anin sabara bar kabire pira na de la ni simo da sa kamu da ko 275% increase no le ga de wona da kole ala Gambia no ga me arango Gambia no ga do no la so ka anda ndila ko ni decision no me arango ya ta abe GSM company le ma ko ka mara mata Gambia ni ma ko ka no abe kole ada mala mo de kan ko bayan dandila la ko kamara del mo le na ko ni ka fo ni ka dandila ko pira la ni ye simfa menta man ke fe de mi ala ko ay simfa le mi ala basi ay la lanno la ni la do la do kamara do ka dandila ko de la do ko la authority la functions no mende ni na de la actor ji be wala ni ka en so that ko quality service delivery to the telecom industry ni we ke fe de mi ala ko asike fe de mi ala ko wala ke la ni na ra ji be sa entending wo quality ni ngoti ka ndandila fana mobile mo federa ni internet dola solo na mo sa solo nya men ka access and quality across the country wo mo federa mi ana go sa indan sa fa jiba da mo to design wo mo federa mi ana ka jiba da kamala ke ko man ka ndandila ko reference to president's committee ni ka mo ka ni ko ni ka jibe ka make sure ko efficiency we ke federa mi ana go abe solo la pure do go la do be pare ka ndandila fana ko data flow ni be federa mi ana ko si continue GSM company la no support pira man do so ni la fela price o wa finda la se famala o man ke pira la do ko ka anda dila fana del banko ni wala ni mura kula ni ya ko ay sula ba gale ndo la fa ko ke do la na fa independent na le me ala ko na bala do ko gala bara kana so fe na me ala ko abe banko ni wala to la wala ka ko ya la di ma ko kaya ndile fana be kuma kan wala be mengine na masa kunda be mo na dimano di kaya ndile ko ni ka usako wala yele na ko di price flow me ya lo ya la price flow me ya ko di pro pire ke fe ni na ko si fata ka ko bila ka ke fa me ya ko ko ni la ni Gambia banko be ba ya make sure that ko ya introduction of me ya ko the price ni me ya ko during the committee deliberation committee ya ko sa kunda ya pour ka banko di mo protect rather than ko company so ka ke protect ani center ani pati sabole la mela na ko le ni ko le so no ko ana sabaja ni me an ko le first list me no fana ko le ni ko ke kan nan ni na mo me an ko ye muta an sa ko no sai mo ani fula wala mo ani sa ko already they are criminally charged before a magistrate court in Kanwe mo ani kile bi mela na ko le report of police even though he charged at the police level but man ke mo me an ko ye charge follow before the court ka ndila ni ka usa wala me ala ko wala be ko ale so no kono wala mo wala me ala ko ya ndani ko fani ki wala findi dano o wasa ro ko tu mo ni fula pour ka findi ki la bala mbaya ya ni masa kundala me ala wala ka pira la office ro but this is no me ala ko wala pira e wala ta pour ka me ga bay so mo me ala ko ndane ko GSM company le ba fe pour ka mo ke da wala ko ni ko ka selendi ka mo ro dum ka da ka bo ga ka me no findi da me ala ko peacefully pour ka findi kada pira la birdi no ya ko wala sembodi la ko kala ni ku ya ni masa kundala bari na ko na da ton into police na da sabide kanja ye forcefully arrest ya kada ren fana mo ya janja mo tan ni ko no do ya ko fani ke wala arrest ko ka bo kada lo flan jaw ni ngara on the 2030 mo na ni fana ko do ko mena ko arrest rescue mena ko findi da in solidarity pour ka findi kala ni ku ya ni ko ni ke tan ni ko do ya ko mo kabo kera wado mene na defini ni kidi ko nyaati no men ko de kanifing banko magistrate tour ya de kaya dandila on the 25th na ranyo mo one sawo be chat section 5 of the public order act wala ni ko public order act ala sifa ala sidla duro ala tombi no ni ko be chat wala kaya dandila ko de mo wala me an ko control of possession me mo wala me an ko fitida me an ko do man sembo di da fitida ye fa ka no ma possession ke ka wala ni ko e be chatin ke ka ba ni mo mo ni woro ni ko na ka ko to biro ni de man so balanda ko mo ni na wala ni na fara mo ni kili me an ko fani ki wala me lan ko fa lo protest ka de decision me an ko magistrate tour wala da ko kan fani ki o ki sen mai ko ke remind je fo curriculum me an ko september be la til na no pour que la belle application di ya tan ko wala ni o ga fini de wala na arrest kaya na dira ko na kala mo dara ko di mo me la no ka be fini na na kidi mo nyaade no loi même fo wala di 1997 constitution ina da section kan ani ko do wala na da ko mo dara masakunda ya mdo mari nyanda ka findi kidi mo nyaade wala ya mari wala jane mo to be taworo ani fula so 72 hours do mari nyanda ka findi kidi mo nyaade bari ni mo findi kidi mo nyaade wala 72 hours do wa elaf sala ka na dila ko kira fende me an ko la nyan ko di nyaade bara bora ge fana fandi ko me an ko mo ni saboni na de mo ko ge ye sabo ma do prisino lo ge solo ge ki tubi wala men na me an ko tubi woni si mari kula no belo kan se bela pro offense ba magistrate do na decide ke ki mai ko ani ame mo folo ka anda dila ko da nyan to me an ko ka ko men ko prison sa mo innocent until proven guilty wala ni ko mo ya tubi ani banko kan loi ni ya da ko mari ni mo tubi mo le fo tan loi ba lo men loi ba ko ne sa kiti o betela akamu do mari mo tubi mo ba ni o ki mai to akamu da ko ya ko ne sa already ka anda ko ya tubi men na akela ba pareta ko kamala ka anda dila ko loi sembo men kan mo loi men na do loi ni floor ta wala ni ko ya wonda nya do wona ra adama di mala liberty ka ko men ko adama di wala nyanto ay wala ti nyaaje ka anda dila ko adama di ma ni man so ko ay loi so ko ka nyanto freedom of movement ka mo da ka safeguard ka mo da man sa kunda fora o silo dinna ko ale so fana ya tan ko mo tan nani ni mo mila ko an sai ay be criminal charge kan ne for lawful assembly me an ko ye wala ko police na de dum te feje ay tel mo da ko tel manke ka ko just protesters ko mo mo le me an ko ni ba fala political prisoner tan mo ye mo tale me an ko di ka political prisoner mo ga me da o ne no just to crack them down masa kunda o silo ta par ka anda ni la ko ni mo ni condemn le ni charge so ni me fara anda ni la ko fa ni ko la nyan to la je ka ko men da ko constitutional right for peaceful assembly and petition in the executive ka anda ni la ko man ko section 25 of our constitution where somebody banko di mo banko di na ko ni ku ya da nyanda ka fitile la ni ku ya yanda di fo ba petition la sa fera banko be fitile la ba demonstration ke ba 1997 constitution and international order law so ko ni o protect le bara kamunda man sakunda e nyaka so wala ni mo mo ila ra ni faade ka anda dila ko ko ale so ni ko ni ay sula ba kale de ko man sakunda ko man la ka anda dila ko fit fonding yol fit dala pour ka accountability ni nga wala ka man sakunda e tilimo ka ya tan na bo ina ka benno ni men na wala ko ke benno ke muta criminal o ke criminalize wala ka fa to mi alan ko wala ka je bari ya tan dila ko mo be ni banko kan tan me alan ko national audit reports wala ka parliamentary findings kada fo wala masa kundala bunda yo mudala mena ko tinyaro de banko ganja baro male ni luwa ma fella wala kay mudala ko mansa ke wala mansa musole mo de ay kan banko ganja kaya tandila ko mo fella mi an ko selective wala ni ko luwa ni ka jay ken dole la dol ma ko de dol ma ko no democracy men ni ka wala ni ko justice for all kaya tandila ko gameno be le kaya tan luwa banko ga de no luwa mo mo luwa ni luwa ni take budela so mo kamene tinya wala ni ko banko di wala trust la hamo wala la lanno masakunda la kana wala tinya ka ndandila ko masakunda ko mandila ka ndandila ko nyin kada ren sifal kala jana mamme ba ke famile la ko mon pamido ko ni fitida ando e ba masakunda la silo den mo ko kada mo ni mela la ko loi me ara so ka ndandila masakunda is very inconsistent mo mo le mela ko ba loi ka man ka nya daga tama nyame ka ndandila do masakunda do do mo me ba ko mo be ka nya da loi ko ka ndandila ko ka discrimination ko mo fena de mela ko de ya bay ka ndandila o be ko man to je be me ngi kala masakunda ko wala ni ko ka ko science and after ko ni tumi ro me an ka be la re ni ka ni charge so all this for people ka drop science wala kala fende me an ko ngi ka ro ni ka sa ko ka ndandila fana ye hada ma wala nyanto respect me ka mo ko peaceful assembly me an ko constitutional law di mo kata ko international organisation lo mena ko Gambia fo yo signile ka ndandila ko sota wala ka ndandila ko defal ko 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 no mele peaceful assembly ni ya recognize the dunia be ko ni ko ko no te manya naka so ay be fa na wantin ka fitila mo nya ka ndandila fana ko independent review ka ndandila ko pira fana ni ka fo ni pour ya kesi ila do ko nyaka ka nyame anin ka accountable to government people wala ni ko ka findi government wala ka to nya fo ka ndandila fana loi fana ke fendi mi an ko ni ba enforce equal application of the law ka ndandila ko de bege mo mi an bebe da loi ko mo nya naka including public officers so mi la ko le fana le masa kunda la do la ka ndandila fana ni mo me arrested thing and prosecution of more than nine mi la ko protest against stira la data ni ka ndandila ko ni mo fene mi an ko aya ndandila ko masa kunda ha mo so to la protest ka bayin banko ga jami'an ko man kam kambe ni wala hamole woni ka ndandila ko nyi ay may yata di gambe la ñi ko wala ko ay denjala yata di gambe ko democracy man pare ala ani civil space ani accountability system mo ko mo le ko findi de la fatili mo ni ka ko ke arrest ke samba may to ro mo ko man pare democracy la di man pare accountability ka ndandila ko ni mo ko le me am ko ay silanda do di gambe citizen wala ba ko di mo ga ka ndandila ko masakunda sa mo da ka ni ke hakilo mo masakunda la continue ga banko dingol da ke suppress a civil voice wala ko fani ko men findi da programme ni ko ayanda ka loy na ke arrest mo fenna ni am ko abe men wulu la wala on democratic ko la wala wala ni banko ga na corruption wara la ni banko ga masa ko na la do ko na be kala mo men ko de check la ke balance do mina men na la banko ga wala ko be banko mo de la ba ke ko ma so ni mo fende me am ko wala so masa ko nda yanda dila ka ndandila ko ke hakilo wala do gambe citizen wala ni masa ko nda fa itel be mo wala me am ko be be loi ko ma mo ma loi sandal ka fa international instrument ka fa African Charter for Human and People's Rights ka ndandila ni be mo fende me la ko wala be ni bayle to ga ko ni ke suppress pour fendi la nyanto ka ndandila ko ni arresto ni fondé ko mo fende me am ko loi tambali alen amanke fende me am ko anen silo ga la ñola ani demokrasi la silo man ta ñola ka ndandila ko masa ko da me afan tun ka ko de mo demokrasi banko le o fele jansa bara banko dingol de indi kanke kamale de ka fe ko de mo mo le mela la ko ite diamo la ni la banko da ka nyamo ko ko ka ndandila mo abuse of power ni ka sembole ni fanna me an ko lwa mo dita ka ndandila de belo ni fonni ke tan ni nano yele in solidarity with them ka make sure that ko be accountability me fitindi ani good governance ni welo ni banko ga sabati ni banko ga no ba ndandila ko nana da fonyo la wala be continue la accountability ni ka ni banko ga jam ka tilimo ni ka ni banko ga jam ka ndandila ni kaydo ni assign ni ka ko sabo.
Thank you very much, Brother Keksane. That was fantastic. You will be getting contacts for news in Bandinka after this, trust me. That was fantastic. Thank you so much, Conrad. Now, I don't know what we're going to do. As I know I'm not as articulate in Wolof as he is in Wolof, but I will try my best after he, had that fantastic deliberation, breaking it down to the local audience, as it is very important that the local masses, the ordinary Gambian, is communicating and understands our mission, as they are part of those that support what we do and are affected directly by this. Can we have a little bit more silence so that we can continue the press conference, please? So I will continue and break it down in Wolof. The suma boga bi Keksane jóge ko si Wolof léegi bi te ñetti banxaas la te bu njëkk bi mooy li nga xamante ne mooy di price floor petition. Price floor mooy maanaam daal comme ñu ne ndox bii nii foog mu commencé nu bon $10 pour benn litre bu nekk maanaam foofu la ko gars yi wàññee pour marchandise boo xamante ne dafa am fu mu war a commencé si price te loolu la waa Pure def si li nga xamante ne mooy internet yi Gambia pour kenn ne ñoom dañ yokk internet bi def price floor bu nga xamante ne mooy $50 pour benn gigabyte bu nekk suñu mbokk yi nga xamante ne ñoom si internet dañoo dundee xam ne lii dafa nekk loo xamante ne métti na trop ngir si gannaaw taay yi léegi soo leen GSM operators yi di def li nga xamante ne mooy wanteer boo xamante ne amoon na solo trop pour askan wi Gambia ñu bëri suma maas yi si loolu xewaloo journaliste yi students yi normal liggéeykat bi ba si police price floor bi nii nag nekkul lu arrangé Gambia ak Gambien si loolu moo taxit nag ñu organise press conference bi nii pour ñu waxtaanee lii ñëpp xam nañ ne si bési 22 August si at bii nii Gambien si dañ dajaloo woon si mbooloo bu pour dem joxe li nga xamante ne moom mooy petition bi si jàmm ak salaam fële si bunti Puro waaye ñun sax amul woon chance pour def loolu ngir balaa ñuy mën a joxe petition bi si la ki nga xamante ne mooy commandant Sarr ak muy commandant PIU bi mu ànd ak ñi nga xamante ne mooy police yi ak ñi nga xamante ne ñooy takkadeer yi pour ñu tasaaroo si doole boo xamante ne terutoon ko gannaaw loolu mu xewee ñu am ñi nga xamante ne dañ leen téye lu toll si ñeenti fukk ak ñeenti nit ñu nga xamante ne ay góor ak jigéen mag ak ndaw ñëpp bokkoon si ñu téye te ñeena si ñooñu demoon ne ñu téye leen si ay police station ak ñeena yi tamit ñu yóbbu leen fi nga xamante ne mooy mile 2 léegi ñoom ñu bëri tamit ñu bàyyi xel ne am nañ li nga xamante ne mooy petition muy kayit bi nga xamante ne dañ fa bind ñun lan leen soxla ak lan leen yaakaar si Puro pour ñu def petition boobu noonu nag comme que keroog mënuñ koo mën a joxe parce que Sarr ak gaayam yi ñoom dañu tasaare arrest ñu dóor ñu sonal ñu comme ñun nag petition bi mu ngi si jaww ji mu ngi si internet bi te mun nañoo wax ne fu toll nii petition bi dem na ba ñaari junne nit yoo xamante ne ñu ko sign kon di wax ñi nga xamante ne ñu ngi seetaan di déglu bi ba Gambie dem leen online ngeen jàppale si li nga xamante ne lii mooy petition bi ñu xam ne yàgg na si ay at yu bëri Gambie bokk na si réew bi nga xamante ne mu ngi dunda internet bu seer a seer soo xoolee si adduna bi ak si réew yi internet bi nga xamante ne mooy Gambie internet bi bokk na si internet yu gën a seer te loolu nekkul loo xamante ne arrangé wuñu waaye da ngaa gis ne Puro ñoom si seen boppa bu ñu wàññee li nga xamante ne mooy def price floor bi am na lu gars yi wax loo xamante ne ñun suñu ba tey ñu ngi xaar pour gars yi wan ñu évidence bi Puro ñoom si seen boppa ñu ne comme si biir Afrique li nga xamante ne moom la gars yi xayma pour benn gigabyte bu nekk mooy 1 gig mu ngi tolloo si $1 muy juróom-ñaari fukki dalasi ak benn te ñun bu gëstoo loolu noonu ba tey ñu ngi xaar Puro pour ñu wàññi ko parce que ñun duñ ay dof ñun ñu ngi tukki ñun ñu ngi dem different dëkk si biir Afrique démb rek laa jógee Sénégal te foofu noonu fa mun a am 24 gig bu ànd ak minutes of call about 300 minutes of call nga oo paper network boobu nga oo lépp si li nga xamante ne mooy $5 less than $400 muy $200 pour 24 gig kon Puro suñu buggee wan ne adduna bi ak Afrique si boppam ñun mu ngi nekk juróom-ñaari fukk ak benn pour benn gigabyte loolu ñun ñu ngi xaar pour gars yi wan lu leer lu mun a firndeel loolu noonu ne loolu dëgg la waaw si kaw loolu noonu dina am loo xamante ne du arrangé wala du nekk njëriñi askan bi si li nga xamante ne mooy price floor Puro def te loolu bokk na si xam nañ ne ñu ngi si jamono boo xamante ne ku nekk yaa ngi téye sa téléphone ku nekk yaa ngi téye sa laptop ku nekk comme xibaar yi ak àdduna bi lu moo demee yëpp si jaww ji lañ koy seetaanee te loolu noonu bàyyi nañ xel ne Gambien bi lu mooy am si am bëriwut soo xoolee teachers yi nga xool journaliste yi nga xool ñeneen ak ñeneen amul fii kenn koo xamante ne di nga am lu ëpp $50 per month loo xamante ne mooy su tolloo ak ñetti junne pour lu nga xamante ne moom ngay fayal bu weer bu dee kon internet bi su seeree Puro def price floor bi nii dina lor teacher bi dina lor layman bi dina lor maire bu jaay gerte sax dina lor student bi dina lor PIU officer bi si boppam parce que soo xoolee lu gars yi war a frais si li nga xamante ne mooy internet bi soo ko wàññee si seen salary sooy caaxaan luy des loolu tuuti la moo ñëw mooy des yeneen ak yeneen ñu soxla yi ñëw cash power yooyu noonu nga xool tamit si suñu wàllu jàng soo xoolee tey xale yu bëri tey dem yaakaar li nga xamante ne mooy internet bi pour ñu mun a def seen research ñu mun a def seen study ñu mun a contact ak even seen lecturers yi and so many other things yoo xamante ne dina am njëriñ pour ñoom seen jàng bi dem kanam kon loolu bokk na si li nga xamante ne amul njëriñ si askan bi mooy delloo suñu jàng bi gannaaw gis nañ ne tamit ndaw yi amul liggéey ba pare tamit comme pour génne lu bees si dëkk bi nekk na loo xamante ne dafa jafe nga gis ne ndaw yu bëri ñu ngi liggéeyal seen bopp comme freelance journalist yi ak ñeneen si industrie boo xamante ne creative industry bi ñun artistes yi ak fans yi nga xamante ne ñu ngay déglu artistes yi ñii ñëpp nekk na ñoo xamante ne yokk internet bi te génnee fi wanteer bi teg fi price floor bi arrangé wu leen te loolu bokk na si luy taxawal économie parce que banqaas yi su doxatee si réew loolu su boobaa dina delloo réew bi gannaaw ba pare nga gis li nga xamante ne mooy si wàllu doxalin réew mi si boppam comme gis nga ne doomi réew yi war nañoo mun a am fu ñoo mun a amee accès pour mun a seetaan news pour mun a xam lan la government bi di wax ak si lan la government bi di nekk ak ñoom tamit ñu mun a bokk si li nga xamante ne mooy loo xamante ne moo ñu ñor bés bu nekk si biir réew yi Gambia te internet bu gaa yi yokk bii nii ak price floor bi loolu dafa métti si ñun lool te bokk na si li nga xamante ne njëriñu askan bi nga bàyyi xel ñi nga xamante ne ñooy pure ñoom dañ war a aar askan bi seen interest loolu mooy njëriñu pure et ñoom seen bopp dañ waroon a am lu mu tudda price ceiling waaye waratoo a nekk price floor dafa waroon a opposite nga xamante ne companies yi dinañ mën a def wanteer competition bi daw xam nga su ma ubbee suma GSM operator ma jaayee leen $100 for $100 yi xam nga te loolu la price ceiling di mën a def askan bi mën a njëriñoo waaye da ngaa gis ne ñi nga xamante ne ñooy pure ñoom defam loolu waaye lu mu jël mooy comme lu ko GCCPC mooy Gambia Consumer Consortium Protection Corporation Commission ñoom mooy mbootaay boo xamante ne ñoo nekk di war a aar ñun jëndkat yi suñu interest war a make sure ne comme lépp loo xamante ne mooy interest yi liggéeykat bi ak koo xamante ne bu ngeen jëriñoo si service providers yi di joxe mu tollu ak ànd ak loi ba pare tamit mu nekk lu njëriñ askan bi waaye ñoom tamit lu wax mooy ne protection dafa war a nekk loo xamante ne dafa am si ñëpp kii warut a ëppale kii kële warut a ëppale kële ñun ñëpp si war a am ñu njëriñoo si loolu noonu te lii mooy lu nga xamante ne ñetti mbootaay yi nii di toog si leen jàpp su ma demee si banqaas bu njëkk bu ñaareel bi mooy comité bi ñun ñëpp gis nañ ne government bi bu ñu téyee si 26 of August génnee leen press statement bi war from bu jógee ko si office of the president njiitu réew mi mooy ne moom sampal na lu nga xamante ne mooy mbootaay boo xamante ne mooy saytu si competition ak consumer welfare si biir telecommunication bi muy loo xamante ne wax dëgg ne yàlla ñu koy rafetlu parce que soxla neen ñu nga xamante ne ñooy seetlu yii nii pour mu bañ a am waaye tamit terewut loolu noonu gannaaw buñ téyee ñeenti fukki ndaw ak ñeent ñu nga xamante ne ñoo doon génn di ñaxtu pour li nga xamante ne moom la pure def yokka price bi bu jógee ko si wanteer bi dem ba $50 yi pour benn gi léegi décision boobu noonu bu ko gars yi defee dafa ñëw in effect si bés bu nga xamante ne moom lañ génne si mbedd bi mooy July 22 bi and so loolu da ngaa gis ne government bi ñu ne ñoom seen high committee level committee bi dafa ñëw pour régler li nga xamante ne mooy communication sector bi bépp compagnie boo xamante ne yaa ngi si telecommunications bi ñoom dañ ñëw pour jéem a xoolaat seen ay doxalin dooree ko si pure waaye ñun li nga xamante ne mooy mbootaay bi ñun gis nañ ne li nga xamante ne mooy mbootaay bu government bi sampa ñun den bugg a xam lii kañ la moo commencé ak kañ la comité bi di em ak fan la comité bi di dooree ak ñan see booba parce que depuis bu gaa yi joxee lii information bi am na lu ëpp 1 week waaye ba tey mënuñoo am lu leer si loolu ñun bëggoon nañoo xam loolu ñu am lu leer si time ak biir bu nga xamante ne moom la government di set up comité bii nii seen njëriñ ak naka la gars yi di ñu njëriñëwee ba pare du am foofu bàyyi neen xel ne commission yi bëri na fi TRRC yeneen commission yi Jani commission yaa ngi am right now this commission on the local governments so Gambia depuis bu commencé commission yi ak comité yi yàgg na fi waaye benn problème leen am comité bu nekk wala commission bu nekk comme TRRC daf lay joxe recommendation boo xamante ne government bi si yoon war nañoo mun a xool recommendation si comité yooyu wala commission yi jox ñu jéem see dox waaye loolu amut Jani commission TRRC seen recommendation yaa ngi fang-fangaaral te bokk na si Jani commission lu gars yi seet ne lii war naa mun a am mooy képp koo xamante ne da nga defoon njuumte si jamono Yaya Jammeh si wàllu xaalis tey waraloo jël position te tey ñu ngi gis ñoo xamante ne tey defoon nañ jur jaay si commission bi wax te tey ñu ngi am ay position ñu ngi naa fal ñu ngi doxal dëkk bi ñu leen neexee te loolu bokk na si ñun du tax ñu lee am yaakaar si comité yi parce que comité yi dañ war a independent kenn mënut a am benn doxalin seen gannaaw suñu ñoom te su gaa yi joxee li nga xamante ne mooy recommendation bi government bi daf si war a dox mu def jéego pour gis ne recommendations yii nii dina am kon ñi tamit loolu la ñoo seetlu di bàyyi xel ci ndax comité bii nii ndax dinañ def seen liggéey benn kañ la ko gaa yi di def ba pare su gaa yi joxee recommendations yoo xamante ne arrangé na askan wi ndax government bi du jël lu yàgga wala waxtu bu yàgga pour mun a gis ne recommendations yooyu noonu am ñun de tamit dañ soxla lu nga xamante ne mooy government boo xamante ne du yéexalantu si soxla nit ñi su nit ñi jaaxlee rek soxla nañ government boo xamante ne dafa uyu si saa si parce que loolu moo tax ñun ñu fal leen ñun amul millions dina war a defar lopitaan yi dina war a def make sure ne économie bi neex na pour seen ndaw yi bañ a dem baax kon government bi dafa war a gaaw si tontu yu nga xamante ne moom la askan bi di laajte te loolu bokk na si lu yóbbu réew ñi kanam te ñu bàyyi xel ne pura ñoom ñu ne dañoo jéem a indi lu nga xamante ne mooy luy indi lépp mu am si ñëpp si bépp doomi aadama Gambie bu fi ne te loolu noonu lu gars yi wax ne dañ koy wàññi mu nekk $1 per gig boobu noonu biir Afrique mu tolloo ak loolu dëgg méngoo ak réalité bu nekk si biir Gambie bii nii loolu suñ si déggee ñu tamit ñu continuer si li nga xamante ne mooy yeneen demande yi soo ko xoolee demande bu njëkk bi mooy pour pura ñoom ñu génne lii nga xamante ne moom mooy price floor bi si tànga bi mooy immediate effect mooy jóoli léegi parce que loolu dañ ko soxla ñu delluwaat si suñu wanteer yi internet bi neex ñun tamit ñu mun a save suñu xaalis mun a invest in other stuff so boobu mooy njëkk bi mooy gars yi dindi lii nga xamante ne mooy price floor beneen bi tamit mooy gars yi tamit ñu sooraale pour ñu indi lii nga xamante ne mooy price ceiling comme comité bi ak yooyu noonu ñu protect ñu nga xamante ne mooy askan wi Gambien so gannaaw bu ma jógee si li nga xamante ne mooy di price floor dinañ dem si li nga xamante ne mooy dropping of charges pour ñëpp ne gannaaw bu defee woon sur petition signing bi war koo jox pura saa ñëw tasaare ñu bàyyi neen xel ne ñeenti fukki ndaw ak ñeent ñu ngi doon téewoo démba rek am na beneen groupe boo xamante ne ñu ngi dem police di report every week ñu ngi dem police di report te ñun lu soxla mooy government bi si boppam mu génne lépp tuumal mu teg ndaw ñi te lu ñu gars yi tuumal mooy unlawful assembly mooy maanaam dajoo boo xamante ne àndu ak tegu si loi si ñoom lu wax te ñoom dañ gëm ne balaa ñu mën a am dialogue ak government bi parce que ñun ay ndaw yu am respect lan am nañ ay kilifa si kër yu baax lañ jógee te dina nangu waxtaan ak ay kilifa waaye balaa waxtaan bi di mun a am foog gars yi génnee tuumal li nga xamante ne moom la gars yi tuumal ñun ak ñeneen ñeenti fukki ndaw yi ak ñeent parce que balaa ñu mun a waxtaan ba di juboo man doo mun a xool si baat nga ne ma kay waxtaan bi bala mooy commencé na gars yi dindi tuumal yëpp su boobaa ñu ñëw sol seen suuta taay sanse ba nice ñu toog invite media bi ñu am dialogue ngir réew loolu la war a demee waaye doo mun a téye ay ndaw yaa ngi leen taay si ñi mos leen mayantu ay jigéen ñi ngay dem police di dem di report ba pare nga dem leen dialogue loolu suñu nekkul loo xamante ne loolu dafa fair ba pare bu leen fàtte ne su ñeenti fukk ak ñeenti yu gars yi arrest 19 leen jëkkoon a jàpp si bés bu njëkk bi loolu mooy ñu dem mayantu si beneen fan bi tamit jàppoon nañ ñeneen ñu amaat yeneen 23 yoo xamante ne jàppoon nañ leen si te di leen wan ne lii lu doy waar ma wax ko léegi pour ñëpp dégg ko bu jàppee yeneen 19 yi si gannaaw élection ay jigéen bokkoon nañ si te am na si jigéen boo xamante ne bu ko gaa yi yóbbee kay dafa police dañ ko boolee si benn sel ak góor mu fanaan fa ba boo set so ñun dañ soxla ngeen drop charges yi balaa ñooy mën a waxtaan parce que violations yi already am na te ñun suñ buggee réew mi kanam il faut ñu jéem a bàyyi xel lii nii te ñu bàyyi xel ne leneen lu important loolu foog ñu bàyyi ko xel loi bi lu mu wax mooy su fekkee ne da nga téye nit si tuuma da nga ko war a téye ñetti fan mooy 72 hours gannaaw ñetti fan bu jotee da ko war a bàyyi wala nga yóbbu ko court ñun nag dañu téye si lu over 72 hours mooy juróom-ñaari waxtu ak ñaar minutes ak ñaar 72 hours ak ñaar juróom-ñaari waxtu ak ñaar 72 hours mu def ko weesu dem na ba almost 80 to 90 hours after detention te loolu loi bi nga xamante ne mooy section 19 si téeméeri Gambia constitution bi dafa leeral ne ku nekk loolu la loi bi war a doxale sakatuma su dee tuumal la boo xamante ne nit ki mën na see am béel te loolu ñu bàyyi ko xel bu baax a baax a baax da ngaa gis ne ñun tuumal yëpp dañ ko jël wéer ko si li nga xamante ne mooy public order act nag loolu nekk na loo xamante ne sonal na Gambie yi depuis suñu jamono tubaab yi parce que tubaab bi public order act yi la gars yi doon use pour ñu nga xamante ne ñoo nekkoon politiciens yi nit ko ñuul yi pour gars yi bu mun a génn di mobilize di organise seen political rally depuis si colonialism Jawara bàyyi ko fi Yaya Jammeh bàyyi ko fi and then this Barrow administration is still keeping it despite promising that there will be a repeal of the Public Order Act. The National Human Rights Commission has recommended for the Public Order Act to be repealed. It has been a recommendation from the TRRC for the Public Order Act to be repealed. So ñu ngi laajte di ñaan government bi tamit ñu bàyyi xel loolu ñu bàyyi di jël loi yoo xamante ne ñoom ci seen bopp ñoo wax ne loi yi du fi amaat ñu ko xam nga di ko usaat ci kaw seen doomu réew ñoo xamante ne ñoo leen fi tàcc ñun dañ gëm ne loolu yëpp ànd ak loi nga war a téye ñaari fukki ndaw ak ñetta nga yóbbu leen mayatu ñetti fan ñoo xamante ne kenn musu leen naa daan si def lu bon si réew mi nekk ñoo xamante ne sax am na ñoo xamante ne musu ñoo xam lan la police mel ñun nag coalition bi ñu ngi wax ne ñeenti fukki ndaw yi ak ñeent yi ñun ñëpp ñu nekk ñu tuumal si ndajoo bu amul àndul ak loi ñun ñu ngi wax ne ñun lii àndul si ba pare tamit nekk na loo xamante ne mu ngi violé suñu àq ak suñu jëleef bu nga xamante ne constitution of the Gambia daf ñu ko garanti waaw ñun tamit dañ ko gisee ne nga xamante ne duñ mën a nangu ne yenn doomi réew yi su génnee si mbedd bi di laaj government bi fan leen dugal suñu koom bi di laaj government bi naka la gaay di doxalee wala ñuy dem si public institutions di laaj suñu right comme ni ko loi bi waxee ñun ñoo téye di ñu sonal di ñu bundaxal ñun tamit ñu bàyyi xel ne gannaaw bu ñu téye si li nga xamante ne mooy dajaloo bu àndul ak loi bàyyi neen fi xel ne am na yeneen groupe ak yeneen mbootaay yoo xamante ne génn leen si mbedd bi ñu dajaloo ñuy march ba police headquarters lu ëppal téeméeri nit waaye bàyyi neen xel ne dara xewul si ñoom muy ñaari groupe yi yëpp te ñun na leer ñun den ànd pour képp koo xamante ne da ngay génn si mbedd bi si jàmm ak salaam ne loolu da nga koo war a def waaye fu ñooy waxee mooy ñun réew mi war a nekk réew mi kumba bu am ndey ak kumba bu amul ndey su dee da nga wax ne Galla ak Gom sa bopp ak Edward Francis Smalls ne ñoom dañ gën a taxaw undi pura nga téenu arrest yóbbu ñu mayal tuur kon ay téeméeri nit su ñëwee bloc trafic bi dem ba sa headquarter te dara xewoo tamit dañoo gis ne loolu ñu ngi taanam fa kan la ñoo jël seen doole di ko teg seen kaw ba pare di seet di pick and choose te loolu dañ war a am equality pour bépp Gambien right bu nga am pour ma génn si mbedd bi laa war a am waaye réew mi war a nekk réewam kumba bu am ndey ak kumba bu am ndey léegi ñun lu ñoo laajte government bi si boppam bu njëkk bi mooy comme ni ma ko waxee woon si commencement bi mooy ñu nga xamante ne dañ leen tuumal li nga xamante ne mooy ndaje bu àndul ak loi pour ñu sànni loolu fële ñu génne ko ba mu jeex loolu leen soxla si government bi parce que lu ñu gaay tuumal benn lu ñu tuddee misdemeanor mooy offense boo xamante ne offense bu tuuti la mu ngi mel ni nit sàcc poti meew utee naa ku rey nit da ko mun a àttee de seen àttee parce que kële lu ndaw la def dëgg la sàcc baaxul waaye poti meew la sàcc kon kooku da ko mun a tuumal comme ku sàcc alali jàmbur jabar loolu mooy misdemeanor mooy maanaam daal daan bu tuuti la mun nga see am mbir kon daan bu tuuti bii nii lu nga xamante ne benn ñun nanguwul ko ñun ñeenti fukk yi ak ñeenti yëpp nanguwul loolu beneen bu si toppa mooy pour gars yi ñu respect li nga xamante ne mooy doomi réew bi Gambia bu nekk sa right pour nga mun a génn si mbedd bi nga peacefully assemble loolu dañ ko war a respect ngir lii constitution bi of the Gambia daf ko dooleel ba pare amul ci constitution of the Gambia bokk na si ay yeneen international treaties yu nga xamante ne sign na ko when it comes to li nga xamante ne mooy freedom of expression and respecting people for freedom of association and assembly and yooyu yu bëri yooyu noonu si luwaa yi international yu biir Gambia fii la ko gars yi defaraatee ba pare ñu ngi laajte tamit pour ñu am review ñu seetluwaat pura seen doxalin dañ ko war a seetaat pura seen doxalin independent review suñu waaye independent dafa nekk mbootaay boo xamante ne it's not politically motivated benn businessman amul si loxo dafa nekk committee bu independent mu nekk ñoo xamante ne doomi réew credible leen si dëkk bi mu nekk committee boo xamante ne dafa nekk ñoo xamante ne ñenn kenn amul si seen biir waaw waaye organise committee boo xamante ne seen gars yi yaa fa nekk ngeen a seetaat seen gars yi loolu mun a nekk lu transparent ci ñun askan bi loolu te duñ ko nangu leneen lu si topp tamit mooy comme ni ma ko waxee pour ñëpp am si réew mi bu nekk réew mi kumba bu am day kumba bu amul bàyyi ba ñi nga xamante ne mooy jiiti réew yi ba si jiiti réew yi si boppam ak ñi nga xamante ne ñu ngi liggéey si nguur bi fii kuy liggéey teacher ak kuy nekk ministre ak ku nekk président ñooy am si kanam luwaa bi kon luwaa bi suñ koy njëriñoo wala di ko jëfandikoo dafa war a nekk loo xamante ne dafa nekk si askan bi yëpp léegi ñun tamit ñu ngi wax ne ñeenti fukki ndaw yi ak ñeenti yu gars yi téye si li nga xamante ne mooy ñaxtu bu doon def si pura waaw loolu nekkul lu nga xamante ne réforme nañ ko ba pare like nekkul benn yoon lii mu ngi xam façon yi jëf yi nii mu ngi ñaawal li nga xamante ne mooy deri Gambia nekk réewam démocratie ngir bu fàtte 2017-16 loolu moo taxoon ñu xeex kon yenn jëf yi gars yi di def dina ñaawal tilimal deri Gambia si àdduna bi ak ñu ko wóor ngir fu ne nii jaajëf media Gambia yéen a ngi tax ba international yi ñëpp a ngi xam lu xew te kenn rafetlu lu mel nii kon ma am foofu noonu ñu wane ne ñun citizens yi tamit ñu leen a ñaan pour ñu bàyyi xel bu baax a baax ñu tey ñu def nanka ñu bàyyi xel ne government bii nii mu ngi continue di noot baati askan bi waaw ba pare di nga gis ne suñ place yu bëri ñu nga xamante ne foofu lañ war a dajoo pour wane suñ naxar loolu yu bëri mu ngi wàññeeku da ngaa gis ne démocratie pour mu dem kanam tamit nekk na loo xamante ne du ko gaaw a am te ñun da nekk réew boo xamante ne bugg nañoo bokk si réew ñu gën a respect si démocratie si àdduna bi ak lu ko woon waaye léegi ñun nag pour lii mu bañ a am mooy ne ñun ñu ngi fàttali ne képp kuy doomi Gambien ak government bi ne lii dafa nekk loo xamante ne farata la si constitution of the Gambia ak international human rights ñu gis ne lii nga xamante ne moom la gars yi def di arrest ndaw yi ak maire yi ak jigéen yi di ñu teegaas si di ko jarul ñun ànduñ si mooy ñun coalition bi kala Edward Francis Issues for rights and justice Center for rights and justice ak team gum sa bopp ak képp koo xamante ne doomi réew mi nga ñun ànduñ si loolu te yii moo nekk loo xamante ne mooy suñu demande si government bi ma tëjee ko foofu noonu gannaaw mu français ngeen jégal ma si suma wolof bon yi foog naa ne taay na léegi ñu continuer li nga xamante ne mooy the question and answer section. First of all, thank you to the Gambian newspaper. Welcome, brother.
Well, the question that I have is, you have demanded unconditional dismissal of the charges. If the citizen refused, will Ghana organize legal defense or escalate to civil action? Next question.
So, can you repeat it again? Please talk clear so that people will.
You have demanded unconditional
Yes.
dismissal of charges.
Yes.
If the citizen refused, will Ghana organize legal defense or escalate to civil action? That's question number one.
Okay, so for further question, can we be referred to as a coalition? Please, can we please be referred to as a coalition? Yes, thank you. Okay, just continue. After.
That's going to have the street price. If you put this upon this, we can accept it.
Okay, so thank you for those two questions. So I think we should just respond before we go before the question and we forget. So I believe I will pass off the committee question to you since you did the statement on the committee. And the other question about the charges, that one I think you can. I will let Keksani, who is been in that, to answer that one. So, Brother Yusuf, where's the other mic? Okay. And also, please refer to us as a coalition. It's not about team groups or Edward Francis or Gala. It's a collective thing. So please do not individualize it because we want to be reflective of everybody. So the coalition would be a better way to say until we find an official name. Thank you. So Kex, the question on the demands if they are not met.
Yeah, thank you very much. That's a wonderful question. First, we are not actually talking to the judicial dialogue between them and us, and we said we cannot have any dialogue unless when our people are criminally charged, there will be no entertainment. So we are telling the executive, not the judiciary, to drop the charges. But we are saying the executive, these are two different institutions. So that's the first one. And for us, we believe that there are so many fundamental rights that have been violated during the whole process, and we are not taking those things lightly because the government's responsibility is to promote the general welfare of its citizens, and where that is lacking, there are institutions that we need to seek at the readdress, and we have engaged the Human Rights Commission to look at some of the fundamental rights that were violated during the process. So we might end up taking a legal action if that's is what the majority of us discuss. But for now, since they are calling for dialogue, our first demand is for them to withdraw all the charges. Then we can sit on the table because that's necessary. But as far as there are criminal charges against us, we are not friends where we can sit on the table and discuss. Yeah, if they didn't do that, then that means there will be no dialogue. Because they are the ones who demanded we will continue with the legal battle and see where it takes us. Because we believe that it is our fundamental right to go out in the street and demand for without even seeking for this. We are just submitting a petition, and which Section 25 of the Constitution gives a fundamental guarantee. And there is no other law that supersedes the Constitution. So for us, we believe that we are on the right track, and we can go on battle with the legal challenges and see where it will end us.
Yeah, so Yusuf will answer the second question. Why to add on to his statement, we have to make it very clear. Yun better together. And in the event, last option, if the government doesn't meet our demands, we will apply for a permit. Since that's always the case, we have to apply and call for a nationwide peaceful protest. Let it be clear. We know that the streets is our streets and the streets is our power. So we will never declare that's our office. So we will never put aside the option of taking it to the streets. So next step, if they don't follow or answer any of our demands, we will apply for a permit, and the media will be notified when we apply for a permit. So that after we will call on the national protest for all Gambians, for get the salary all the way to the police officer who is being suffered in the situation, because they are also on our side, because they also suffer. So that's one thing I have to make clear. Whether we do go Thank you.
Well, we have, in our statement, it's very clear. We feel that for now, the price floor should be suspended immediately. Because the way that the government has done this is not the right way. They should consult Gambians before doing any such move. They've also, in their statement, highlighted that there are other documents which they should issue, the regional benchmark. You've just heard Killer talking about how he just came from Senegal and the price is there. We believe that if the committee does their proper work, right, they will come to the logical conclusion, which is that Gambians are suffering. There is no justification that they have advanced to increase this price floor. It's the other way around. You suspend the price floor. You do your studies, you justify your increase, you explain to Gambians, engage the Gambians, and then you can have your price floor. Us, what we believe, if they do their work properly, the only logical conclusion is the removal of this price floor. And not only that, our document, we are saying that they should consider a price ceiling. This is what we are saying. So for us, really, we cannot see a logical conclusion. GCCPC is in that committee, this government committee, right? GCCPC, who issued a statement, they are in that committee. What logical conclusion will it be for them to justify the price floor? No, that doesn't make sense to us. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
In regards to all the incarcerated young people, there are currently watching the law. If you guys could really remember during the government press conference, it was one of the questions I asked the Minister of Justice. And he said the government is open to have a dialogue with the members of the question. Are you guys ready to make the first move to engage the government to first drop all the charges before moving into having dialogue on other issues? That's the first question. The second question is with regards to with productiveness and the effectiveness of that very committee to look at the issues that are currently affecting the Gambian people. So these are the first questions.
So I'll hand that over to my comrade, Yusuf.
Can you answer the second question?
Yes.
If you want to answer any question. So
No, it's about the
where
first that negotiation.
Yes, come decide for the camera.
I think we've made this clear that the beginning of any negotiation with the government is to drop the charges against the 44 people. We've been talking to the executive, and we made it very clear to them that you cannot incarcerate me and you want to negotiate with me. First, they have the law and they have what it takes. Drop the charges and you will sit on a table with them. Until the charges are removed or dropped, I cannot see somebody. I'm right now under police custody myself. Why would I sit with the police or the state that incarcerate me to have any negotiations? So the question is very simple. Charges dropped, the coalition will consider having negotiation with God, because at the end of the day, negotiation itself is part of advocacy. So we're not going to dismiss negotiation, but we're not negotiating with anybody that put us behind bars, have charges on us, and have the charges stay. If that answers your question.
Very good. Thank you so much for that.
No, he has two questions.
There's two questions. Yes, it's okay.
So we might see one again.
Us not being part of the committee, well, we haven't talked about that specifically amongst us. But one thing we do know for sure, we feel that these committees, our general, and this is in our statement, they create a lot of these committees. Many of these committees, you go on there and then you have allowances. And then at the end of the day, those committees, you can see the commissions and committees. Over millions has been spent in the CRC, for example. What have we got? Until now, no constitution. So we are wary, guys, we are wary of being any part of any committee where, there's a possibility that you are enjoying your allowances. No, we are not interested in that. Let the government do their work. The government, what we are saying, they have an independent commission, Gambia Consumer Competition Protection Commission. The name is very simple and it's very clear. You see this committee, they are just trying to do something which a commission is already established to do. Your commission, which is there to safeguard consumers, is telling you, Pura, many Gambians are shocked by it because of, to be honest, GCCPC did the brave thing. They could have been coward and sat down behind and just engaging and not decided to issue a statement. They could have been doing that, but they issued a statement and they also bring GCCPC. We don't need to be in there. GCCPC alone, we believe they are representing us. And let the government stop wasting money. We don't want to be part of no allowance scheme or all those things, or these committees that don't do anything. We're not interested in that. Let them do what they are supposed to do. Suspend the price floor, do your studies, convince the Gambians, bring us along before you bring in any price increase. I think this is just how any normal government should operate. Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Brother Yusuf Taylor.
In the Gambia, why do you believe this petition will force actions where others have failed?
Okay,
Second question, do you, if Tula continues to avoid action, are you prepared to escalate the matter to the National Assembly or the courts? Number 3, how can ordinary Gambians, including those in rural areas, support your movement and hold both rural government accountable?
Okay. Thank you. So, regarding the petition being ignored, I do believe, honestly speaking, we are past those days where our petitions are being ignored. As you can see, a couple of weeks ago, or less than 2 weeks ago, the government called on one of the petition groups, which is Gala, to respond to a petition, which is a step in the right direction. So I do believe we are no longer in the days where our petitions, which which the aspirations and the demands of the general Gambian population should be ignored. If it is ignored, then it is a clear violation of our right to petition as enshrined in the Constitution. Thank you. Second question, I think I can pass that to one of the colleagues. Are we ready to escalate if people doesn't act on the price floor, etc., etc.? So I'll pass this to somebody else to answer.
Yeah, thank you. We have institutions that are meant or designed, for them for oversight functions like the National Assembly. So citizens have the right to petition any institution for the National Assembly committee. We call it public petition committee, the National Assembly. So we will look at all this happening. We even have the power to actually even file a case against public institutions when we feel like. So this is a starting point. Now we are just looking at petitioning and give them time frame whether they will actually respond. But in an event where that happens, we can use the avenue of the National Assembly to petition them before the National Assembly committee to address the need and aspiration of the Gambian people. And if that even fails, we can even try them to board. So there are so many avenues that we can take, and we're looking to those avenues.
Yes, thank you. So the question of how do you intend to expand to a nationwide mobilization? I'll let the spokesperson of the able to answer that, brother.
All right, thank you very much. So, one point to Ama's grassroots mobilization is to speak the grassroots language. If I say the grassroots, it's the people's language. And today, let's say, for example, this press conference is enough for anybody who feels the pain that the data, the price flow will put on Gambians, will understand that there is a need to join this movement. What we will do as a coalition is to make the people understand that their sufferings are not organic, they are man-made, and it's only their voices collectively that can salvage this country from corruption, impunity, and exploitation. And that is enough for young people, for the old, for the women to understand that it's only Gambians that can effect the change that we keep on fighting. Thank you.
Leona, thank you. Yes.
You will not engage with any dialogue with the government unless they drop all the charges. What if the government do not also have any intention of dropping the charges unless they have a dialogue with you? What will be your next?
So, like we said earlier, we will repeat and repeat.
I've seen before people being charged.
Yes.
Yes, so I want to know, because the charge sheets that we received is only 23. So I want to know whether the other 22 people that were detained at the police stations were actually charged, because there is no public information about those people.
Joseph Taylor has a database of that, and he can give you a chronological breakdown of that particular matter. So, Joseph, you can please answer that.
So we were charged.
That's what I said. I said they were.
If you look at our statement, we try to give it to you, all of it. If you look at our statement, it's very, very useful. I will urge all of us to look at it. On the third paragraph, on the dropping of charges statement, right? It reads, the protest began peacefully but turned chaotic when riot police interrupted and forcefully dispersed the gathering and illegally arrested 19 individuals. So they first arrested 19.
Yes.
Yeah? That's on the 22nd. Okay? Then the following day, August 23rd, 4 more individuals were arrested at Westfield. Yeah? So that is what brought it up to 23. Right? And you are with me, right?
Yes.
And then the Monday, right, was when an additional 21 youths were arrested. And these people, they were protesting because of what? Young people, they were being sent to mile 2 for bailable offenses. So these are the numbers, how that comes to 44.
Yeah, so quickly, the 21 arrested on Monday were all charges for 2 counts. Unlawful assembly and nuisance, public nuisance. So all the 44 were charged to the court and to the police station. So they are all charged. Yes, we are all
Just wait 1 second. It's only the 23 that are charged in court,
Yes.
that have been brought to court. So hold on, let me just explain to you. He is right in the sense that only those 23, we are the ones that were brought to court. So the 21 that have not been brought to court, they are on police bail. But they have also been charged similarly to us, which is the same section 5. They are on police bail and they are reporting every now and then at police bail. So one set, the 23 court, they have been charged in court by the prosecutors of the police.
Yes. I understand.
So then what's
when the police announced the release of these people?
Yes.
It is not written there that these people have been charged.
Yes.
So this is like
those people have not been charged in court. They have been charged by police. Yes.
Okay, but the police did not, publish that.
Then it's a question for police then now. Why are they not explaining what is going on? Huh? So,
welcome.
So my question is, considering the accusations of selective law enforcement and the passive double standard in handling process in the Gambia, how does the coalition plan to ensure the equal and fair application of the law to all citizens?
Fatu, I think you can take that one, please.
I think said that during our deliberation that the law is here for everyone. So in as much as we are having selective justice, then the peace that we are calling for will not exist. And as a coalition, we are here to make sure that everyone has fair and equal treatment when it comes to the law. Okay, maybe.
Regards to the application of the law when it comes to citizens, irrespective of what position you want to. So, in discriminating in application of the law is something that is fundamentally against the very principle of equal right and justice before the law. So, if it continues, we might even challenge the decision, or we might end up putting the law in our own hands. Because if you can allow Section B to go and protest without a permit, and Section B go out and you say that they require the permit and arrest them, that's discrimination in application of the law. So, and the law is, the very constitution is against discrimination of the citizens, respective of our gender, respective of religion. So we'll challenge those decisions by the authority to say that they are discriminating. We might use the courts to do that, because we don't just only want to be in this, because sometimes test the powers be, by dragging them to court. And now I think we will see that even the Public Order Act, we are planning to take the matter to court and challenge it, its constitutionality and all that. So we will not only be this. So we'll take that.
A permit is only required when you're using a loudspeaker or when you're doing a procession. You understand? That is why, to be on the legal side of things, as we are law-abiding citizens, right, we will apply for a permit in relation to that context of the Public Order Act. Requesting, sorry, order guys, this is a very important question. Can we all listen? Can we all listen? So that's the main reason. You only require a permit, right? I'm telling you what's on the book, not how they design. Only when you're having a procession, meaning people moving from one place to another, and a protest of that magnitude will have a procession, as we see in the recent protests. You will also use a mic or a sound system or a speaker or blow on, even if it's a building. You understand? So that will require a permit according to the 1950 law that's still here. So, but for the other hand of the period, that one we didn't have or need a permit because we were not holding a loudspeaker as you guys were there as witnesses, and we were not doing a procession. That's why that one we did not apply, and this one we will apply. Because remember, we are lawful and we are legal citizens. Thank you.
Very important.
Very important.
A petition. And then, if they don't heed to our demands, then a massive protest would be made. That was always the plan. And we are still sticking to that plan. And we know that with that massive protest, we're going to have a permit. Well, we will request for a permit. We will request, but we know our rights. You see, so I just wanted it to be very clear. And, I know you're asking a difficult question, just so that it will be clear for those guys. And that's why we appreciate you.
Thank you. Your name is what, sorry?
Swipe. SS Media.
SS Media, thank you.
So basically, I know it's going to be long question.
Okay.
So what I would say is that it's generally for anyone to do. Most recently, if you have a knowledge of it, let's say, what's your overview on the institution as of now? And you think institution open, institution that you working? Because we are already aware that they have chief of
all the numbers in this corner. Africa, we do not exceed the numbers that they give everyone. They give them 7 and 4. Q7, they don't complete 3, they give them 5. Formula, they don't complete 6, they give them 8. And in addition to that, Gramsci is coming back. There's another GSM formula, they give Nancy.
One voice, please, my people, one voice. Very important question, please. One voice.
There's another GSM formula, who is already in Nancy by the dead formula. All the numbers are there. So it means governments are now going to 8 digits. It's governments going for 8 digits. That's one question. The second part,
8 digits.
8 digits.
the second part of the question is that government in October they will privatize and they call it qualification marketing strategy. And that because they give the price growth. Would they stop government from bringing that's right. That's one. Another GSM operator that will also come as a new one, also come with the same thing. Will they stop all of those institutions?
So there's an answer for that one. Remember, there's the part in the statement where we say that we want a panel to review and keep Pura accountable. Is there, so you can refer to that.
Perfect. Okay. Let's get them.
So, brother, you will answer that.
All right. Thank you for your questions. Very important questions. Technical questions, right? Some of them, I believe, we are colleagues in the field. Some of these questions, to be honest, it's Pura that have to answer them, right? But I'm going to do my best to answer it from our own, view and from our standpoint and from our position papers that we have written, right? The first thing, the 8 digits issue is very technical. Are Gambians ready for 8 digits because of having another GSM company? I think Pura will be only able to answer that one, right? Maybe there's a way that they don't need to do 8 digits. I don't know. But they are the only ones who can explain that one, right? So now, the issue about Gamcell promotion, this for me highlights the contradiction of Pura and the challenge that they are going to have created for themselves. Because Pura is a government institution. Gamcell, even if you sell it or if you, loan it or whatever you do, privatize it, it's still a government-owned institution and they want to go into support it. For me, I think what is important in your question is Pura. Are they fit for purpose? Are they standing and doing people's interest? And for me, quite frankly, I don't feel that that's the case. I feel that Pura is failing. You were in a press conference with me when we were talking to Pura. You know what Pura told us? Gambians, please, I'm pleading for you to just hear this out. Pura told us that QCell may not be happy about what Comium is doing with regards to the penetration strategy. Because you talk about Gamcell and having a penetration strategy in October, and they might need it. But guess what? QCell is doing the same penetration strategy in Sierra Leone. And guess who is telling us that? Pura themselves. Pura is telling us that what Comium is doing in Gambia, this is what QCell is doing in Sierra Leone, so that they can increase and have more. So we are journalists. We are even having colleagues in Sierra Leone. And AfriCell is in Sierra Leone. QCell is in Sierra Leone. We will find what are their price floors, the prices of the cost that they are doing to show the double standard that these GSM companies are doing here just to milk us. So really, Pura, they are not here. They are not at their work that they are doing. They are not doing it in Gambians' interest. And we take note that people like Njoguba, who have been banned by the commission, are the ones that they've brought in there. And this government, we don't know whether they're recycling them. This is what we can see. So, is Pura in the public's interest? It does not look like it there. No, it doesn't. We did know it, and the data is very clear whose side Pura is on. I hope I didn't miss your third question. What was it? I covered the answer the question. Okay. We can take some more. Who? Killer?
Of course, we wouldn't have responded. My friend explained something. we have had the national program to respond to the demand. What actions are you taking with that side?
Was the timeline given? I think we are 1 month, 14 days today, and it's supposed to be 3 months, that is 90 days. So there's still time for them to put their house in order and respond. And we look forward to their response before we declare the end of the time frame given to them. But until then, Ghana cannot take any action. Just like the way the government responds, we expect that the National Sport Council will respond. But they still have time to enjoy almost half a month, 1.5 months to enjoy and still watch our petition so that they respond properly and accurately. So we wait for them.
Thank you. So,
your report from outside that the amount of energy that you guys have put into this plural protest, are you planning to put in the same amount of energy, to protest about the high cost of living in the Gambia, because we all know presently, everyone is suffering, and then it will be a clarion call for if you take a stance in, demanding, answers, from state authorities as to make, the cost of living more affordable for the citizens.
Thank you very much, my colleague. Thank you so much for your question. For us, Gumsa Boba, this has been a mission that we are not going to relent on. When cash power, NAWEC, was increased, we engaged Pura into a series of engagements. Some 2 years ago, and we've been doing these kind of things. Our first protest when the new government came in was about Occupy West Hill, was about NAWEC, electricity. These are all cost of living issues. Even today is also part of the cost of living. So, but that's the Gambia. We need people to come on board. That's why I'm so glad that my brother, the question he asked about how other Gambians can come on board, so that we can be able to address many issues, like the other gentleman asked about those in the rural areas. And these are the things that have to happen. Gambians are the ones who are going to have to drive this demand. When we started and we said, protests about cash power, how many people came? 300, 400, 500, you remember? You were interviewing us, if I can't forget. So we've been on this journey, right? And this journey, as you can see, look, there are 3 of us. At that time, there was no gala. When we were protesting for NOE, there was no gala. But look at Ghana is here, and they are part of this. So I take this opportunity to call on Gambians from Bitcoin, Banjul to Coin, to come on board. If at all the cost of living is actually affecting you, you will believe that NAWEC was not a problem. The increase of NAWEC was not a problem. Only 300, 400 people. So now we are not the ones to wait. We are the ones to take the lead.
yes, sir.
That's what we believe. But you can only take the lead when people are also behind you. And this is where Gambians have to do. They have to come on board. Because this is about bread and butter issues. You understand? We have independence. But do we have economic independence? Most of us, we have no economic independence. So, your question, I want the people to come back on board and really, so that we can tackle all cost of living issues, not just data. Yeah.
But where do we do the complaints? In our own house. Do we go out and tell them what we really feel? Do we go out and tell them what we really feel? Sometimes we do on social media complaining. But when we call for a collective effort to do things, do we really show up to do the things? So if we are to address cost of living, which is affecting each and every one of us, we should have one voice, collective effort, and drive this to be able to put Gambia forward.
Thank you. And on his behalf, his eye had a serious problem during the 6 days of his ordeal without proper medical attention. I will move back on the floor is yours.
All right. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, members of the media, and my fellow citizens. My name is Alusar, and I stand before you today not only as the representative of the students of the Gambia, but also as one of the victims who was unjustly detained for exercising my constitutional right for peaceful assembly. I stand here today as a voice of the student, a voice that refuses to be silent, a voice that endures. I stand here today as the voice of the student, a voice that refuses to silence, a voice that endures the pain, the struggle of young Gambians who simply want a fair chance in their future. We gather here not because of the unjust price flow imposed by Cuba, but because 44 people, young people, were arrested and detained for standing up peacefully for what is right. Among them are students, activists, and future leaders of this country. This is the price we pay for raising our voices. We are told a committee has been formed, but our action must be taken, not just promises and press releases. We distress our right of being ignored. Access to available internet is not a luxury, it is a right. It is the tool. It is a tool we need to learn to grow, to connect with the world, and to build a better Gambia. So today, I call the government, listen to the people, listen to the students, respect our voice, protect our rights, and meet the demands of the petition. We will not stop, we will not go back down. We believe in Gambia where justice, accountability, and opportunity are not denied to the young. Thank you. 3D Youth, Voice of the Students, Dr. Boba. As one member of the story is, focus me, net me, ahead. I'm not long to stop, that's why I want to make it. Gambia is our motherland. Let's show love and preserve as the Gambia. Please, I'm calling each and everyone, especially the students. Let's come and fight injustice. Let's end process today. As Gambia, our homeland, please, I thank each and everyone.
Please clap for it. Understand that we that follow you, our loyalties are not the lives for you. Yes. Our loyalties lies with people. And if you lead us well, we will come at any point to support you.
Thank you.
But we want you people to be genuine at all costs. Let us forget about the glory and understand we're fighting for Gambia.
Thank you.
For whoever is fighting for Gambia will earn money, not glory. So let us just, I don't know how long you intend to go along with this coalition. But I've joined many protests here that is organized here many times. But what I want to understand is you are individuals and you are groups of your own. And now you have come together in this Kura problem. Anyway. But now that you have the coalition here for Kura, how long are you intending to follow this coalition? How long are you intending to join together and fight corruption? Because we have so many problems in this country. I know all of you have your own agendas, but it doesn't matter. What I want to see is, if you are not continuing this, and if this coalition is not going to continue, what I want to see in these phases here, what I want to see at all costs is whoever that organized the protest, that is based in the best interest of the people. I want all of you to be present, regardless of where you come from. Let us do it for Gambia. Now let us know if you are going to continue this coalition or not. And let us be together at all costs, please. I've seen certain things while I was behind bars, and I was not happy. I don't just stop with emotions. I have to take my time. Yeah. So I was very serious. So I want you all to respect your chain of communication, to respect your line of duty, and understand Gambia is bigger than all of you. We are always out for Gambia. We will stop our works, leave our families to do for Gambia. We expect you to do more. More than that. All of you. Being in Gala, Edward Francis Small, or anybody. Just do for Gambia.
Not just within this group, but to any Gambian whose right has been violated or is fighting for the right cause. And our last but not least, I think I'm using what you said before. Let Yusuf respond to, when you go to back, let Yusuf respond to Jata's great liberation.
Yeah, Jata, what Jata asked is so important. Time is going, we're at the end. This is the last answer and then the last statement, and then we're done. So I just wanted to respond to him. Hello, we'll know. Clearly not all will know, but people need to know. For example, us, after this whole thing, Gala, Gumsa Bopa, and Edward Francis Small, we met, and we had a frank conversation amongst us. And this is what we expect the government to do. They have to have frank conversations so that the problems which we saw and we saw and we had issues, we try to address those issues between us there. We're not talking about between us and the government. So we had that even before sitting here, all of us. So that's why we can speak with one voice. We intend to keep that going on. And one thing for sure, we will continue to reach out with our partners. We anticipate this should grow. It shouldn't grow down. So I just wanted to respond to you. Normally I wouldn't have even responded, but given the importance of your question, and this is going to every single Gambian youth out there, let us not focus on our differences. Let's focus on our shared goals. Cost of living, you heard the guy. It's affecting all of us. So we should be able to come together on these things rather than focusing on, issues which are not our shared goals. So I think that's the last question or statement from Badu.
Like what I just want to say is that, like, I am Badu International, Badu Gambia, every favorite Badu, people's choice, ladies' choice, boys' choice, food choice. Like, I lost my school because of this kind of protest, and then I will still be in protest for my Gambia to be Gambia Sikau, Gambia Sikanam. Like, I love my country. If people are talking about Bagwe, I never involved. Because I know I won't go to Bagwe. Because I know I'll make it in Gambia. The Gambia nekk na réew bi nga xamante ni réew bu ndaw la. Gambia pour mu def si kanam lu ndaw la si ñun yu si. Te bu nañ lii de si nga xamante ni tey dañoo taxawal Gambia focusé ñun si yu si nga xamante ni tey ñu pare nañ pour deyal suñu digga mooy digga bi nga xamante ni la mooy Gambia tey. Like bu lii de si nga xamante ni like they will just speak without doing any action. Man nekk naa nit ku ndaw ki nga xamante ni maa gënoon a ndaw maytu yëpp te suma gannaaw bi yëpp yaaxu na because of Haitian maytu nelaw ma like pour ñu lekk foofu sa tam di nekk problème because of like suñu yërëmande la boy si lekka ñu gay de isil yëpp tuuti laa su ne lekka kiri côté bi yëpp ma jox ko ñat boy su ma daan nekkal foofu bi sa soole si tey suma fa ne romb sax suma rongoñ dafa tuuru billahi wa taala. And then we need a support from the government to increase. New York and Neki Namante, Monica Matu, 28 nits, Ben and Nick, the for tutti. Neki the for over tutti. Like you never come out of fee. We are all human beings. The Gambia Nekana de Gambia Hamanteni, real we never go to Wahanto, see TikTok. Some of the game you day one like one country more than Africa. The majority country it's Gambia, and I'm proud to be Gambian. I am Badu Gambia, Gambia Sikau, Gambia Sikanam. Thank you all the media team also. Media team is
members of the media, fellow Gambians. Today, the message has been loud and clear. We are united for one common purpose, a better Gambia for all of us. The statements delivered on behalf of the coalition reflects the collective concerns raised by Gambians across the socio-political spectrum. I would really appreciate if we are given the respect of silence so we can really close and be done with our press conference. We would really appreciate it. Like, please, please, you made better room and urgent VOD. We call on the government to suspend the data price floor and heed the joint demands of the coalition and GCCPC. 2. Pura claims its decision is guided by a regional benchmark, citing an African average of $1 USD per gigabyte, equivalent to an estimated $70 per gigabyte, and promised to publish the cost model underpinning this policy. To date, neither the benchmark details nor the cost model has been made public. We demand Pura immediately publish these documents on its official platforms to allow the public to immediately verify and independently verify whether this decision truly serves the public interest and reflects transparency and accountability as claimed. Consider introducing price ceiling during the committee's deliberations to protect consumers. 5. Immediately and unconditionally drop all charges against the 44 youths. 6. Respect the right to peacefully assemble and protest as enshrined in the Constitution and in regional and international human rights treaties ratified in the Gambia. Number 7, establish an independent review of payroll operations to ensure transparency and accountability to the Gambian people. Number 8, guarantee the equal and fair application of law to all, including public officials implicated in corruption and misconduct. We extend our deepest gratitude to the media and all supporters who have stood with us during these difficult times. Let us remind ourselves, together we can build a better Gambia for all. On behalf of Team Gumsaboko, Edward Francis teaching Smalls for rights and justice, and also Gala, Gambians against looted assets, we tell you thank you. This is the